where best friends and next-door neighbors, Willow and Lillian, spill the tea on murder, mysteries, and other things that go bump in the night. So get your favorite teacup ready, and let's get into it. Welcome to Cruelty Podcast. This is Lillian, and with me is Merris, because it's Merris Monday.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
And we have a horny history.
Oh.
Are you excited?
Not that type of excited.
Oh.
Sorry.
You won't be by the end, because this could also go as a horrible history.
Oh.
It does not end well. Well, never mind. So it's been a while since we've done a horny history. This story is very horny and contains possessed nuns. So we have horny, history, and the paranormal. So you can't beat that.
No.
I mean, never mind.
Not that kind of beating.
No.
Jesus.
So our story begins in 1633 in the convent of the Ursulines in Loudun, France.
Okay.
I don't know what an Ursuline is.
That's a bear.
Why are they bears? I don't know.
Ursine is bear, yeah?
Ursulines. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but this is French bears. They're fancier.
Oh, fancy bears.
Uh-huh.
So the sisters there started behaving strangely. They spoke in tongues and foreign languages, had convulsions, fits, and screamed blasphemies and barked like dogs.
They sound kind of cool.
And contorted their bodies in obscene ways, which sounds like a regular Saturday to me.
I need some diagrams or something.
As I go on, you're not going to want diagrams of any of this.
Okay.
But instead of it being a wild Saturday night where too many poppers and Molly were taken, it just kept going on, and more nuns became afflicted with the strange behavior. A total of 27 nuns claimed to be possessed by a diabolical spirit, according to written records. Some of them didn't say they were possessed, but rather bewitched or obsessed. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
And listen, the public was living for it. The exorcisms became a public spectacle. I do believe we covered the antagonist of this story very briefly in another Merris Monday, but we've never covered the whole affair in detail. And it's a fun time where a lot of people die for no good reason. Yay! Not a lot of people. Well, whatever. So the whole debacle lasted about a year, but there were still exorcisms being performed as late as 1637 that were related to this particular and strange event. Some history on the Ursuline convent in Loudun. It was opened in 1626, and by 1632, Prioress Jeanne d'Ang was in charge of 17 nuns. Okay. The nuns' average age was 25, with most of them being noble-born. So they were young, hot, and loaded.
Sounds like a sorority or something.
Yeah, and ready to party.
Yeah.
Is what history's telling me. Their families had shipped them off to the convent, not because these were like super religious girls or anything, but because they couldn't afford large dowries, and God forbid a woman just not marry and live her life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was an outbreak of plague in the area in 1632. 5 months after this horrific outbreak, which killed the shit out of everyone, the nuns started acting wild. This is when they started becoming possessed after the plague had calmed down a little bit. Doctors and wealthy folks saw the plague happening, and they were like, nah, I'm out.
If there's sounds on my microphone like Bunny is drinking her water, that's not me.
I forgot the dog was in here, so
if you hear crunching and like a...
sniffing.
Yeah, it's a Pomeranian.
Look, we're being blessed by the Holy Bun.
Yeah.
Okay? So people stayed behind it was like due to poverty or circumstance, and they did some good old-fashioned social distancing. The nuns had shut themselves away from the general unwashed populace behind the wall of the convent, and I don't blame them. Like, you'd think the nuns were out here, like, helping people. No, they're like, fuck off.
Wow, I feel like the nuns from the Renaissance time were different than now. Because all the nuns that I've ever encountered were like 800 years old.
Oh, yeah.
And they're kind of mean. They're not like 20-year-olds who want to party.
Don't worry, we got mean nuns up in here.
Okay.
And while this isolation kept them safe, it was also super fucking boring. They lived in pretty plain accommodations. Their rooms, were unadorned. They didn't even have beds. These bitches slept on the floor. And it was rumored that the convent was haunted. by boredom.
Yeah.
There was literally nothing to do after you did like your nunly chores and prayers
Your
and shit.
nunning, yeah.
Your nunnery. And all they had to do was like, I'm going to pray, I'm going to clean up, and then talk to these other nuns, in which they did the same shit as me all day. It was dull. Their mother superior, Jeanne d'Ang, was a baron's daughter and described as being saintly and pious. But bitch was anything but. She was ambitious, a real girl boss.
Boss babe.
Yeah, but does she girl boss too close to the sun? Y'all will have to stick around to find out.
Yeah.
Though her contemporaries spoke highly of her, people actually close to her said she was mean, arrogant, and unlike her sisters, she had lived a very extravagant life before becoming a nun. She adored the extravaganza. Yeah. You'd think she'd have gotten married instead of being a nun because she had lots of money, but she was also a hideous hunchback who was exceptionally ugly.
That seems real rude.
This is not what I said. This is what the medieval people said.
And if you're at medieval standards, if you're ugly, you must be really ugly.
I'm saying. I'm not playing.
Yeah.
So she decided to be a nun because she wasn't getting married, and she's going to be the best nun ever.
She's an overachiever. Is she a Virgo or?
Probably. She didn't care who she stepped on her way to the top. She pretended to be some saintly godwoman, but she was a scheming, petty super bitch.
I bet she's actually rad, and this is all wrong.
No, she is fucking terrible.
Okay.
And if you heard that noise, it's just my joints popping and falling apart.
So you got the dog and our joints. Yeah,
it's just, pretend it's fireworks or something.
All right.
Another player in this weird-ass story is Urbain Grandier. He was appointed the parish priest of Saint Pierre du Marche in Loudun in 1617. He was a very good-looking dude, well-spoken, elegant, so he had the eleganza, he was wealthy, and all around a real catch, except for the priest part. All the girlies in Loudun were like, ooh, Father Granier is so hot, and thus everything became a bit culty with him.
I got cult vibes from the beginning, but... maybe it was just the organized religion stuff.
Yeah, probably. He charmed men and women alike, but especially women. However, as much as the small folk peasants liked him, his arrogance and high-on-himself attitude earned him some enemies in high places. Father Urbain loved fucking widows. That was his lady of choice. He made dudes jealous of his swag, and women swooned over his good looks and silver tongue. Other clergymen started to get jealous of Brother Urbain, what with his widow booty rockin' and how popular he was. He got all kinds of perks, and this could not stand. So they decided to take him down. They watched him like a hawk because they were going to catch him doing something naughtier than boinking bereaved hot widows. His popularity would not last. I guess he girl bossed too close to the sun.
Yeah.
He got a reputation for philandering, which is not the reputation a priest should have.
No.
He started an affair with a woman named Philippe Trinquant, who was the daughter of the king's prosecutor, Louis Trinquant. Louis and Urbain were like good buds, and Louis was one of his biggest and loudest supporters, so this was overall a real boneheaded move.
Yeah.
And though never proven because there was no Maury Povich back then, Urbain got Philippe pregnant.
Oh.
This is when shit started going downhill for him. In a very real way. Though at the time he wouldn't know this, but because we're from the future, we do. Yeah. He was rolling around in his popularity and status and banging chicks, just having a hell of a good time. And he acted like his shit didn't stink, which naturally pissed people the fuck off.
Right.
He was also real opinionated and confrontational and didn't give a shit who he annoyed or angered.
This guy is going to be in trouble.
Yes, this made him even more enemies. And though he knocked up his friend's daughter, he started openly courting Madeleine de Brau, who was the daughter of the king's counselor. Urbain even penned a treatise on why priests should get to bang. He was like, this celibacy shit is for the birds.
I mean, yeah.
He's
true.
like, I just want to fuck some ladies. God wants me to. He said
He'd probably get in less trouble if he was just straight up allowed,
Yeah. Well, this went over like a lead balloon. And Madeleine became its mistress. In 1629, Jacques de Thibault, a relative of poor Philippe's, the girl he got pregnant, started crowing about how Urbain was a womanizing piece of shit.
Well, yeah.
And Urbain caught wind of Jacques' shit talking and straight up confronted him. He's like, "What the fuck, bro?" And so Jacques just went to beating on him with a cane on the steps of the church.
I love
Saint
this.
Croix.
Yeah, this is definitely Maury, yeah.
He was just like, "Bitch!" And he was just whacking him with a cane.
Hit him with a chair, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Naturally, there was a trial because you can't just go beating the shit out of fuckboys with canes.
I think that should be law that you can.
I agree. Here, Jacques was all, "Yeah, I beat him up, but he's a priest and he's banging so many chicks."
Right.
Which is naughty in the eyes of the Lord.
Evidence of these children.
This caused the magistrates to go, "I don't want to have anything to fucking do with this." And so they passed the buck.
This is very, very familiar with today's time in the future.
They sent the case to ecclesiastical.
Ecclesiastical.
Thank you. It's a church word. I don't know
It sure is. Yeah.
Ecclesiastical court, which is church court.
Yes, I know what
That's
church.
God
I didn't get
court.
in trouble with them, but I know about it.
I mean, you would now.
I did not do what this guy did at all.
But you're a trans, and that is naughty in the eyes of the Lord.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Well, who cares about what they think anyway?
They're going to excommunicate you.
Oh, good. I don't want to talk to him either.
Wow. The bishop presiding over this case thought it was best that Urbain not speak publicly anymore because he was making the women act unwise. For 5 years, Urbain had to shut the fuck up and behave himself.
He can't maintain, can
But
he?
Urbain couldn't have that. So
he could not maintain.
No. So he appealed the case, and many of the witnesses against him, probably exhausted by all this really mid-drama, recanted their statements. And Urbain had lots of political friends, so the whole case was dismissed. That same year, when he was accused of shenanigans, he was right back doing what he loved, seducing women and pissing people off.
Well, you have a passion. It's cool.
Yeah. And I've seen illustrations of this guy.
Was he ugly?
It's medieval illustrations. Everyone looks insane.
Okay.
So he had a great big mustache and Prince Valiant hair.
Oh, he probably was handsome for the time.
Oh, they just couldn't get over him. They were just like, "Oh, mon Dieu."
Yeah.
Because it's France.
Oh, right.
Baguette.
There's a
Eiffel
lot of
Tower.
baguettes going on, yeah.
Hon.
Croissant.
Yes. Croissant.
That's all I know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Urbain's enemies had like these little get-togethers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so dumb. Where they're like, "Okay, how can we fuck this guy up? How can we get rid of this, dude? He's too handsome. It's pissing me off."
Shave him. Problem solved. No more
Well,
Prince Valiant
they
hair.
do later.
Oh, wow. I got it right.
You're weirdly psychic. Merris is weirdly psychic in ways that don't matter.
Yes. Nothing useful. No lottery numbers. Nothing.
No, but he'll do things like that where he'll say something I'm getting ready to say, but it's something really asinine.
It's the worst X-Man power ever.
Yeah, useless facts you know ahead of time.
Yeah.
That's it. But they would get together and they're like, "We got to get rid of this motherfucker somehow. What do we do?" So they got together with a man named Father Mignon, who was the priest who presided over the nuns at Loudun.
Did he invent filet mignons?
He did not.
Oh.
They wanted him to persuade some of the nuns to pretend to be possessed and claim it was Father Urbain Grandier who had put some sort of devil magic spell on them. This is a stupid plot.
I want this to be a movie.
Well, you're in luck. It is, and I will link it in the comments. You did. Oops, you did it again.
No.
All right. Naturally, Mother Superior Jean was all for it. She's a bitch. And another nun volunteered. Jean didn't do it just because she was a bitch, though. It was because she was sexually obsessed with Urbain.
He must have some kind of love cologne potion thing on.
I don't know. She had dreams where he would come to her looking all angelic but tell her to do some devil shit.
That's pretty cool.
Which made her, in her dreams, act most unwise. And naturally, she just told everyone her dreams where she banged Urbain all nasty like.
Oh.
She was whipped and cried and did penance and stuff, but the dreams continued, and that shit spread like wildfire in the convent.
Just don't tell him that. Just tell him you had a dream with your teeth falling out.
I had
Just
a
lie.
dream about Jesus, and he said it was awesome.
Right.
Other nuns started having sex dreams and hallucinations about Father Urbain Grandier, too. He had that devil dick, and they needed it.
Do you think he had a big Schwanzsticker?
Schwanzsticker?
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't ever said, but they were digmatized.
Wow.
Now, while it was true that Jean was a total hose beast, she was also very charismatic. She could play the role of whatever the situation required, and the sisters in the convent were easily persuaded because they were fucking bored out of their minds.
Wow.
As she rolled around moaning and saying devil stuff, it encouraged the other nuns to do the same. Like mass hysteria.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back in time and look at this man.
Do you think, like, in medieval times, they were just real dumb and bored? Like, what's going on?
Well, maybe all he did was bathe, and they were like, oh, goddamn, he's so hot.
Smells normal.
They're dazzled. Yeah. By 1632, the nuns were seeing weird things in the convent, like stuff moving in the corners of their eyes, shadow people, demons and shit.
Wow.
But then all these visions took the spectral shape of Father Urbain, and he was roaming the hallways of the convent at night. And the nuns started going into trances to speak to the vision of Father Urbain in weird voices.
Wow.
Like what? Like Muppet voices? Like, ha ha ha.
Father Urbain.
Ho ho ho.
We're real horny for you.
Honk honk. You're like, I don't know. I think they were just horny and bored, and I feel that.
Yeah.
Witnesses said the nuns would fling their heads around like their necks were broken. They would twist and contort their limbs, lay on the floor, and touch the soles of their feet to the palms of their hands.
Isn't
So
it
like yoga.
A song like Whip Your Hair?
Whip my hair back and forth.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
They were doing yoga.
Well, that's the evil positions.
Oh, yeah, it's evil positions.
Bunny won't stop eating. I'm sorry, everybody.
She's pigging out. It's horrible. And, like, they were just freaking out and acting crazy, and some would, like, loll their tongues out of their mouths, and their tongues would be black and swollen and covered in boils.
They just need to stop licking stuff. Like,
it just sounds plaguey.
Yeah.
Sounds gross. Why is demon stuff always so dang gross?
I wish we could go back in time and look at what's going on here.
Yes. Oh, they also made super ugly faces.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
like,
very scary.
You know, you can't see my face, but I made a really ugly face. Gave myself like 80 chins, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. The nuns also made really obscene gestures, so tawdry the witnesses wouldn't even describe them.
They were sticking their tongues out, whipping their hair, and flipping people off.
I just picture them doing like the V with their fingers and sticking their tongue through it, like blah, blah, blah.
They're like blasphemous.
You know?
Put those fingers down.
Or like the jerk off motion. Like,
oh, that's so offensive.
Yeah. And this made medieval people lose their minds.
That's so funny.
How debauched, my word. She is bewitched and the devil's slattern, clearly.
Right.
Yeah, they also hollered and made weird noises. Man, they'd think I was possessed. I just hollered and made a whole bunch of weird noises. I'm like, okay, so I have ADHD, and ADHD people do vocal stimming. Mm-hmm. So I'm always like, beep boop, ski bop, a diddly doot doot. You know, they just think there was some, I would be left in the woods to die.
Yeah.
In addition to all that nonsense, they exposed their boobies and privates.
They exposed their breasticles?
Their titty-tas.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm, and invited onlookers to have at it.
Whoa.
People witnessing this said even the women who worked in brothels weren't so lewd. Which begs the question, why not? I mean, we're already in a brothel. It's not like we're playing Yahtzee.
That's what we're paying you for, right?
I'm playing pussy. Let's see some.
Dang.
Give me that minge, girl.
Minge.
That's an old-timey word
I
for
know.
pussy.
I just wasn't expecting it.
Well, I'm telling the listeners who may not know. I have a weird vocabulary.
Yeah, we learned the word ecclesiastical today.
We sure did, friends.
Yeah.
So the reports of all this went largely ignored at first because of the Witchcraft Act of 1604.
Give me that witchcraft.
I mean, I'll take it at this point. It made such behavior punishable by death, so that a priest would corrupt a bunch of nuns into horny behavior and be in league with the devil was so openly seemed silly. Mm-hmm. The priest presiding over the parish didn't believe that Urbain Grandier was anything other than a fuckboy, and thus wasn't capable of such a grand and wicked conspiracy.
Right. Wow. He's just enemy number one.
For real. Regardless, the accusations were serious and scary. Because Urbain wasn't a smart man, just a rich and good-looking one. Mm-hmm. He was too busy chasing after virgins and widows to get up to any black magic.
Right.
I'm sure the thought never even occurred to him.
They went too crazy, you know. They really went off the edge.
Oh, yeah. I want y'all to think of him as an unneutered orange cat. Okay. Empty in head, balls full of trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Father Mignon, who presided over the convent, along with Father Pierre Barre, started trying to exorcise the demons out of these horny-ass nuns. Naturally, the nuns would shriek and convulse during these exorcism rituals.
Right.
During one of these rites, Jean named the demons possessing her as Asmodeus and Zabulon. I've never heard of Zabulon. That sounds like he from space.
I was about to say that sounds like a space alien. And, the only one from Zabulon is Bunny drinking water next to the microphone. She just won't stop.
She just won't stop crunching and munching and glopping. And I am so sorry. We're in too deep now.
No, I can't stop now.
She's just staring at me with her little stupid eyes. Love that.
Don't look at her.
Yeah, we can't look at her. She'll start barking. But yeah, like, Zabulon sounds like something L. Ron Hubbard came up with Scientology.
It really does. Like, I swear to God.
I am from the planet Zabulon.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
I mean, but I did Google it. It's a real demon. So.
Well, tell him he's stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid.
Yeah.
So Jean was like, all of these demons were sent here by Father Urbain, who controls them. She said that Urbain had somehow put the demons into a bouquet of roses and then tossed it over the walls of the convent, and that is dumb as hell.
He sounds romantic.
Yeah, maybe he was just like, this will make you have fun. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. So the priest questioned the demons who were supposedly in the nuns. They asked, like, why are you doing this to nuns? To which they replied, we straight up hate nuns, bro.
I mean, why are you even asking? They're like, whenever you ask a demon,
It's
literally
like,
anything,
blah, blah, blah,
they're like,
blah.
yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
And like, that's the only answer you will
Like,
get.
cuz you suck, eat shit.
Hate.
Yeah, Mother sucks cocks in hell.
It's dumb. Don't ask a demon nothing.
No. Then the priests asked who sent them, and the demons said it was the evil magician Urbain Grandier.
Of course.
The nuns that Urbain had sorry, this story's so stupid. The nuns said that Urbain had visited the convent for 4 months, once a day and once per night, but they couldn't figure out how he was getting in. He would then try to
door?
No, he was like appearing in.
Oh, okay.
Boop. And he would tempt the nuns into thoughterry by word and deed, while invisible people hit them.
Like they're just getting ghost punched?
Yeah, and he's like, suck my dick. And they're like, ow!
They're like, who hit me? And you're just, there's no one there.
Stop hitting yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so stupid. I can't handle it. And Jean and 8 other nuns who had claimed never to have ever set physical eyes on Urbain Grandier, which was a lie, identified him all the same as the magician who had summoned the demons who possessed them, and that his spirit haunted the convent. Then a whole slew of witnesses against Urbain came forward. 60 in total accused him of incest, adultery, sacrilege,
Thoughterry.
And a bunch of other god crimes.
Yeah.
He did naughty stuff in the holiest parts of the churches. The vestry.
Pretty cool. Like,
what's the vestry, Merris?
Oh, well, I think it's the vestibule. It's like where the priests go back and get changed and stuff.
Oh, well, I mean, that makes sense. If you're going to fuck anyone in a church, why not in the changing room?
They got a special word for literally everything in the Catholic Church. Like where the priest lives, like in his little apartment, it's the rectory. Yeah, it's just everything's got a fancy fuck word.
Gosh. So, yeah, and they said he was doing this shit 24/7. Meanwhile, the nuns were speaking all different languages. One man who had been to America and had met some indigenous folks said the nuns could understand the indigenous language and answer back.
That's pretty cool. That's a good power.
It is a good power. Others claim to have heard them speak Turkish, Spanish, Latin, and Italian. One doctor examined the nuns and heard them speak Greek and German.
Well, yeah, that's part of, like, demon possession is, like, knowledge of other languages and stuff.
Yeah, knowing and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
They also had strange fits where they'd fall asleep and even the strongest men couldn't lift them. So naturally, instead of just thinking they were weak and had, like, scurvy or something, they blamed the devil.
Okay.
One nun said she could hear voices in her head arguing over who got to use her body to speak next.
Okay.
Jean, the old battle axe, started levitating. That's neat.
That's neat.
Other nuns contorted their bodies like they were in a Marilyn Manson video and would hold these unnatural poses for hours on end.
Okay, well, here's the thing. If you can float and bend all crazy, honestly, that's really good for the joints.
Yeah, I mean, you're flexible,
If you're floating, you don't have like impact on your knees anymore.
thriving
Yeah.
in your own lane.
And like yoga, you're supposed to hold the pose for a long time. It's
That's
like
right.
good for you or something. I don't know.
So, at some point during this whole mess, Jean decided that 2 demons wasn't enough. So she added a 3rd demon.
Fair.
And this demon is named Ascaron. Ascaron.
Isn't that the name of your vampire boyfriend?
No, my wife is named Asterion. Leave me alone. Baldur's Gate 1 Game of the Year. What's up? Fuck you. The demon of debauchery. And he sounds like he'd be fun at a party. Jean, when given the rite of exorcism again, had what's known, this is so insane, as a psychosomatic pregnancy. And this is where you will gain weight, have morning sickness, your belly swells like a baby's in there, you will lactate.
Wow.
Periods stop. She'd really gotten herself all worked up.
Yeah.
Finally, 3 demons wasn't even enough, and now the nuns claim to be possessed by a multitude.
Oh, they're legion now.
They are legion.
Okay.
As a result of nearly a year of carrying on like this, Urbain Grandier was arrested for his naughty crimes.
Finally.
On June 23rd, 1634, Urbain was brought from his prison cell to the Church of St. Croix to witness some exorcisms of the nuns of Loudun.
Mm-hmm.
He cried out that they were fakers and haters,
Yeah, they were haters.
as did his supporters, but he was forced to have an exorcism himself despite protesting that bitches be trippin'.
Right.
After the exorcism, trying to clear his name, Urbain spoke in perfect and fluent Greek to the nuns to try and prove they didn't know shit. But they'd been coached ahead of time, and they responded that they'd been ordered not to speak Greek, so...
Yeah.
I mean, they totally could, but they wouldn't because reasons.
Right. They can only do it when you're not looking.
Right. Oh my God, you're looking. I can't do it now. I'm embarrassed. In December of 1633, Urbain was put in prison at the castle of Angers. They stripped him naked and tried to find a devil's mark on him.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, where is it?
Right.
And then this famous surgeon, and they didn't find one. And they're like, well, he's innocent. There's no devil's mark on him. These bitches be tripping, like he said.
Mm-hmm.
But one of his greatest enemies was a famous surgeon named Dr. Minori. And Minori said, hoax. Y'all are lying. Fake news.
Right.
And he's like, let me look for a devil's mark.
Yeah.
And so they're like, fine, fucking help yourself.
He draws a wiener on him.
Yeah, he's like, look, dick and balls right there.
Uh-huh.
No, what he did was blindfold him
Yeah.
and then shave every hair off of his body.
Haha, he did get shaved, yeah.
Like the devil's mark was hiding in his pubes or something.
Dang, was it?
No.
Oh.
Then the torture. And I'm not going to go too deep into the torture because it's a lot and it's fucking awful. But one of the things he would do is he had a little probe. And he would poke him on various parts of his body.
Okay.
And he would poke him, like this thing would stab you like all the way down to the bone.
Oh my God.
And so, of course, he would scream, but then he would poke other places that were like more sensitive than like your arm or something. He'd poke him in the dick.
Wow.
But he'd use like, he wouldn't touch it to his skin. He was using like sleight of hand.
Okay.
And he's like, look, he does not even scream, and I have jabbed his pecker to prove that he's a devil man. Right? And it worked. It's stupid.
There she goes marching again. Sorry.
Yeah. So Minori tortured him, and it was bad. A lot of the nuns recanted and said they'd made everything up. They even said that it was Urbain's enemies who told them to do all that wild shit. And Jean, sensing that things were definitely going sideways, tried to run away from the convent lest she be next for the ye old torture. Mm-hmm. But she was caught and dragged back to the convent.
Yeah.
The nuns, no one listened to them at all. Everyone assumed it was just Urbain bewitching them further.
They are ladies, and we know that we just don't listen to ladies.
Never,
no.
unless they showing their titties.
Well, they were earlier.
Yeah, but now they're not. So everybody's like, old news.
Yeah.
Even Jean went before the court with a noose around her neck, saying she would off herself if she wouldn't be allowed to recant her lies. But they were just like, fuck off. They just didn't care. She didn't off herself, for the record. Plus, the public was told that if anyone came to Urbain's defense, they'd be arrested as traitors to the king and have everything they owned taken away.
Wow, that's pretty harsh.
So, like, even if he had buds, they were just like, I'm not saying shit. In fact, many of those who had previously come forward in his defense left the country entirely. They're like, fuck this and fuck France.
This has gotten out of hand, I would agree.
It just gets worse.
Ugh.
On August 18th, 1634, Urbain Grandier was found guilty on all counts against him. And we all know what the sentence was. See if you can guess. Be psychic.
Is it death?
Death how, though?
Let's see. This is the Renaissance, like medievally times.
Yeah, plague times. Uh-huh.
I don't know. Eaten by rats.
Burned at the stake.
Dang.
Alive! Of course. The sentence was carried out a short while later, but he was already pretty much as good as dead because he'd been tortured a lot.
This is bullshit.
So badly that his bone marrow oozed out of his open compound fractured limbs.
Oh my godly God. That is very disgusting.
It is gross. I'm sorry. I had to add that bit because it was so bad.
That is rancid.
And he had begged and pleaded to please
Put
be allowed.
my marrow back inside.
No, he was done. He knew he's fucked. He was like, let me say in front of all these people that I am innocent before I die. It's the one concession, my last wish. And they were like, fucking, okay, fine. You can, fuck boy. And so he gets up there. He's propped up because he can't stand. All his limbs are broken.
His marrow is oozing.
It's oozing. And he's like, y'all, he opens his mouth to say, I did not do any of this bullshit. But there were a bunch of monks standing around and they just started throwing buckets of holy water in his face.
I wonder if it felt better,
No.
with the ooze and stuff.
No. They waterboarded him effectively. He couldn't talk. And then they just chucked him in the fire. They're just like, fuck off.
Wow.
And so his last words were incomprehensible screams.
He was like, fucking no. That's what he said.
Yeah. And what's really cool, though, is that most of his accusers died.
Okay.
And went insane, but they went insane and then died.
Okay.
Except for good old Jean, who girl bossed
Wow.
her way through this whole thing. She should have gone to jail or something, but no, she was considered saintly after this mess, and when she died, her head was preserved in a reliquary and venerated. And another weird thing, which I don't understand, and is why I think Catholicism is fucking nuts, is her nightgown heals people. They still have it, and they heal people with little scraps of her nighty dress. Her chemise.
I got some bad allergies and some shitty knees. You think it'll help?
We're just going to rub that mean old hunchback bitch's nightgown on your knees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
The
ashes of Urbain's funeral pyre were saved. For what purpose?
I don't know. Sniff it?
Snort it. Oh my God, that was so disgusting. I'm sorry. I thought it'd be a dry sniff. That was not. I have allergies. It was not a dry sniff.
I'm sorry. There's just nothing but bad noises in this pod.
We should just.
Our dog just wouldn't stop eating. And...
She's done now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's stretching. Yeah. So I just think it's crazy. She was 63 years old when she died, and quite sure of her own saintliness before being sent to hell, where she surely belongs.
Right.
So this history is both horny and horrible.
Yeah.
Just let priests have sex and let nuns fuck. Maybe then they won't touch the children and ruin everything.
Right.
Fuck.
I don't know what to think of this fucking story.
Isn't it wild?
It's something. Like I feel like we should learn a lesson, but we don't.
There's no lesson to be learned here. That was
nothing.
Crazy. It's some guys got together and made a burn book about Urbain Grandier, and it got him killed, basically.
After he oozed everywhere.
Urbain is a fugly slut.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having your coworkers get together like, we gonna kill this motherfucker in the most elaborate, ridiculous, humiliating way possible?
I mean, we can definitely imagine it and just think about it for a while.
But I don't understand. I blame this on having no TV or smartphones, and they're just really bored.
Yeah. And then they did like Blair Witch project or something, and it all went wrong.
Oh, it went so wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd feel sorry for Urbane, but when I say he was banging widows, these are like 14-year-old girls. Like, he's gross.
That
Fuck him.
60-year-old is like ancient for them.
Yeah, they didn't live long because, plague and disease and
and marrow ooze.
Being burned alive.
Right.
General fuckery.
Uh-huh.
It's not a good time, the medieval times.
Well, I mean, this was Renaissance time. It was the 1600.
It's still medieval times to me.
I don't know, because...
Well, they weren't Renaissance and nothing. They were being ignorant haters.
They were being hayseeds, and this is from a hayseed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a hayseed now. Used to not be. You're one of them big city folks.
I was, yeah.
From up north.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Merris. If any of the previous times in all of history, what times, and you have to pick one, and it can't be now, would you go back to?
What if I was going to say like the year 3000?
Can't go forward, only
Why
back.
not?
Because this is the game we're playing, motherfucker. He always does this. When I give him little hypothetical word games and thought experiments, he's always like, can I break all the rules you just made? Like a dick?
Yeah.
So pick up before times, not future times. It's not this type of show.
I want to go to the 1800s and hang around a medical quack guy who's like got, like a snake oil. Yeah. And I want to travel across the country with selling bullshit.
That's the most horrible thing I've ever heard. Why? You just
this-
want to go, like...
Because the 1800s was super crazy. Like, it was insane. Nothing made sense then. And their technology was cool looking.
I want to go back to the mid-1980s when you could have one job and that was enough. And the economy was okay.
10 years of history and that was it.
Yeah, but I could build my wealth then.
You have to be born in like the 30s or the 40s.
Fine. I'm born then, and I'll suffer. I'll eat the dirt sandwich. Because you know what we've done our whole lives is eat the dirt sandwich, and what do we got for it? Dirt, nothing. Oh, I'm so angry
Diarrhea.
at capitalism.
Yeah.
And I was like, somebody the other day called me a commie fuck, and I was like, no, I don't like communism either. Anarchy. Burn it down. All of it. Fuck it. I don't need a government.
Business to take care of, like a business.
Oh yeah, it's business time. We won't burn that down.
No.
We're gonna be capitalist whores and peddle our wares. Yeah, like them nuns.
That's right.
But maybe classier. I don't think I'm gonna show you all my titties. But hey,
I'll show you my titties because I don't have any.
You chopped your titties off.
Yeah.
Listen. I mean, hey, if you pay me $20, I'll probably show you at least one titty.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's fair.
Yeah.
I mean. They're old titties, but they're pretty good. I think they've held up pretty nice.
Yeah.
You like them.
Yeah.
So he's endorsed them.
No,
the real business is buy my soap. I'm almost out. So you should buy some before I am.
Right.
Yeah. And in addition, we have a Patreon. I don't know if you knew that. Do you want to hear more cases? Yes, you do. We have over 300. No. That's dumb. We have over 300 regular
5,000.
50 million. No, we have like 160, 170 episodes on Patreon. You've never heard unless you're a patron.
Holy cow.
Pretty cool. For $5 a month, you can hear them all.
Yeah.
But we have other tiers too. If you want to do more to support this podcast, you can even do a really expensive tier just once.
You should.
And that supports us. That's really nice. We appreciate it. If you laughed at this today, in any way, you can send us a little love, and all our payment details are in the description below. Because, we could use a little love because the coffers are low. But hey, also, if you want a tarot card reading, I am doing them again. It's still going to take me about 3 or 4 days to get to because I still have a whole bunch I'm working to get through. But I will go ahead and tentatively open up for at least a couple. You just message me if you want. If you've never had a tarot reading before, let me pop your cherry. I'll do it so gently.
Holy cow. She just offered to do stuff to you guys.
Well, that's the theme. The theme is horny for this episode,
yeah.
right? I will gently give you this experience.
She will caress your balls.
I will not do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I don't even know why he said that.
That's
horrible.
Either.
He's in trouble,
yeah.
actually. I will yell at him
trouble.
later. But yeah, I would love to be like the first person to read your cards. It'll be super fun, and I would like to do that for you.
Yeah.
We also have merch. Hey, it's hoodie season, y'all. Quit borrowing your boyfriend's gross hoodie that has like holes in it and smells.
Probably got dandruff on it.
Or man's juice. I don't know.
Ugh, ew.
And get your own hoodie. Get a cruelty hoodie. They're actually really great. They're very fleecy, very soft. And we've had like our cruelty shirts forever, like 2 years or a year. I don't know how long. I don't know. Time makes no sense to me.
It's
okay?
the 1600s right now.
I would hope not.
It is.
Anyway, the design hasn't faded or worn off in the slightest. I still have my cruelty cup, and it's rad. So we got cups and totes and stickers and magnets and all kinds of things. Get you some merch. Represent the pod as a true tea bag.
Yeah.
And that's all the business I have.
Besides the new show, Reality.
Oh, shit. I almost forgot. Hey, tea bags. Now you can come over and listen to Merris talk about what reality TV shows that he likes. We covered Sister Wives.
Yeah.
He made me watch it.
Sorry. No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Wow, what a train wreck.
Yes, it was a lot like this episode.
This episode was very well researched, thank you very much.
Well researched, but it,
I read court documents from the 1600s for this shit.
Dang, it's probably like thou art an asshole. Is what
It's thou art acting unwise,
yeah,
like a thought. Yes, pretty much. That's why I didn't include any quotes. No, it was incomprehensible, frankly.
It's in French. It was like les thought or something.
No, I read translated versions. I can read French, but not that well.
I can't even read anything.
Well, you're dyslexic. It's difficult. Yeah. We understand.
Anyway,
check out, there will be a link to the new podcast in the description box below. So check that out. Enjoy it and have a good time.
Yeah.
And that's all. Goodbye.
Bye.
Us on your social media platform of choice. Linktree/cruelty has all of the links. Check out our Patreon for exclusive episodes, merch, ad-free episodes, live ghost hunts, and much more. Please be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded weekly. Thank you so much. See you next time. Music and production by Libby.